Yo, yo. What's happening? It's Monday, April 7th, 2025. Tanner, Drew, and Laura. We are live! Back from our vacation, feeling refreshed. Little sunburnt in certain areas.
Oh, yeah? You catch a little heat?
Yeah, right. Because you're in line for so long at Disneyland, just waiting. I feel like 40%, 45% of your time is just standing in line.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you're in line, you're looking at your phone. Like every other idiot at the park. And
you get a neck special.
And it wasn't even that hot. I think the hottest it got was like 70 degrees.
I mean, that's nice, though.
Yeah, it got pretty nice.
But your skin isn't really acclimated this time of year coming out of the winter months.
Not on the neck. You know what I mean? When I just expose that neck, boy, every time I shower, put a shirt on.
Look, this is your complaint every time you go to Disney. You didn't spray some sunscreen on there before you went outside? Or?
You think my skin can handle it being
You don't think
Iranian.
You should be able to wear it, but your skin's never in that environment.
Yeah. Well, I burned in 68 degree weather. I burned.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes.
We will go over our vacations here in a few minutes, but Laura had a big vacation. You know, she went on like an adventure to Kansas, and she had an award show to attend. And believe it or not, Drew, we are in the presence of greatness.
A true champion.
Laura is an award-winning broadcaster.
Wow. Woo.
Was it Friday?
Saturday night.
Laura,
good way to cap off a trip.
Laura won a broadcasting award. We'll tell you about it coming up at 7 a.m. this morning, and we'll find out why we were excluded.
Well, I mean, do we really need an explanation?
Yeah, the writing's on the wall.
Pretty obvious. But 7 a.m. this morning, we'll find out why Laura won an award, why we weren't involved in that award, and we want to know, did you ever win an award? Have you ever won something, that was cool, maybe for your job or something you did for your community?
Yeah,
bring the hardware home.
I kind of like this. This is no time to be modest. Like, just brag about yourself.
It's time to brag this morning. 7 a.m. We want to know, when did you win an award and what was it for? In the meantime,
let's get it on. And now, the big story.
It's time to go around the room and share what we think the biggest stories of the day are. As an award-winning broadcaster, I would assume
you'd have to go.
You need to go first.
Let's get into it, you guys. I think the big story is that the Mega Millions is making a major change. Now, we knew about this, but it has finally happened. The price of a ticket jumped to $5 with Saturday's launch of a new version of the multi-state lottery game, which now features a built-in random multiplier. Also, a new prize structure starts with the April 8th drawing, which is tomorrow. Lottery officials say the changes include bigger prizes across the board and better odds to win the jackpot. Mega Millions estimates the average jackpot win in the new game will top $800 million.
Ooh, average?
Yeah.
That's huge.
So that is massive. But again, the ticket price has gone up to $5. So if you're willing to pay the extra $3, you could get in on that.
Man, I mean, if you think about it, you feel like you burn the two quite often. I might give the $5 a shot. The big story to me is 4 Virginia students have created an app to find oral cancer. This is pretty sweet. It uses a smartphone to take a picture of a person's mouth and then scans the image and produces information on whether or not there's a cancerous tumor in there.
Whoa.
Now, the app uses AI and compares the person's picture to images of hundreds of other healthy and unhealthy mouths to figure it out. And one reason I do love this, and this can be found, or it will be on the App Store soon. I just love it because people are scared of the doctor. People don't want to be like, hey, I got a weird thing in my mouth. Like, you don't want to be the guy. So we'll all take a picture of our mouth if it's just for us.
For sure.
So I love it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all.
Could come in handy.
I think the big story of the day is today is National Beer Day. I don't need an excuse to drink. I'll take it. It's National Beer Day. Today marks the day in 1933 that legally allowed the sale of beer and its production with a limited alcohol content, ushering in the beginning of the end of Prohibition.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here's a fun fact. The best-selling beer in the world is Snow Lager from China.
Which is funny, but we've seen the size of the cities. It's a lot of mouths.
Yeah, that's Snow Lager.
It's probably just the name, like snow.
Well, that sounds
and it's probably an attempt to be a Western beer.
Right.
So, happy National Beer Day
and also,
to you and yours.
I just want to add, not only is it National Beer Day, it's also Tanner's birthday. Yeah. You didn't think we were going to go
That's how I
without
feel.
mentioning that.
I was hoping we could
Yes.
do it, but
I
yes,
made sure to write it in the work email last night just so nobody forgets.
Perfect.
Yeah, I am 43 years old. I was born on April 7th, 1982 at 12:02 in the morning.
Wow.
So you were almost a day earlier.
Because your mom held out, right?
My mom likes the number 7 for some reason,
that's
so
fair.
she held out for literally she
2
just
minutes. She's
held.
like,
She sat there for a few minutes and held it in so she could get the 7 on there. So
wow.
okay, Ma.
My middle kid was born just after midnight, but we were trying to push her the day before all day.
Yeah.
You know, that type of idea. But you get them when you get them, and it's nice to have you here.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Coming up, we're going to check your talkback messages. Download the iHeartRadio app for your cell phone if you don't have it. Once you have the brew streaming, press the microphone button to record some.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Happy Monday. All right, coming up in a little over an hour from now, we got tickets to go see the Blazers when they take on the Warriors Friday at the Moda Center.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll around 7:30 play a game for your chance to win. Also, we've got another Trash Bandits coming up on the 20th. It's it's the 19th.
Yeah.
Yes.
The day before 420.
Day before Easter, day before a ton, so we got the wide open day.
Yeah, it's the Trash Bandits. Rise of the Raccoon 2. I'm not sure what we're actually calling it.
There's no official title, but
You sold it very well, though. I love it.
Rise of the Raccoon 2. Yeah,
it'll be going down starting at 10 a.m. at Lintz Park. That's where we're gonna meet up at 10 a.m. at Lintz Park, and then we're gonna spread out for the next 2 hours after that and clean up the neighborhoods in that area.
Yep.
We need your help. As many people as possible would be great. There's limited spots available though, so go sign up right now at 1059thebrew.com.
Yeah.
McD is excited about it though.
Well, we know what's right, making Lens Park clean and nice. In a world where trash is blowing all around, let's clean the ground. Trash bandits, don't let us down. Hey, bandits, no reason to not help us out. Hey, yeah, let's clean the ground. Trash bandits, don't back down.
Yeah, McD.
very nice.
I love it.
That all fit in 30 seconds.
Yeah, just like 29 seconds exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
He does not waste any time.
Side note about McD.
Yeah.
Also, got to say congrats to McD because I think him and his lady got hitched over the
They
weekend.
did.
I saw that.
Saw a picture.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting.
He was going to do it at our Valentine's Day, which one? The Bacon and Beer Valentine's Day like 2 years ago, right? Or a year or two ago?
Yeah, it was a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, he was going to get married there, but I don't know why they decided not to do it. But they got married over the weekend. I don't know the story if McD got married, like if they went to Vegas, like you and your ex-husband, Laura.
Yeah, I don't know.
It didn't look like Vegas.
No.
I mean, it looked like they were in the outfits, like maybe on a lawn somewhere.
Yeah, they looked
I don't
very
know.
dapper.
It was
though.
very lush for Vegas.
Well, I mean, McD just recently saved a baby, we learned.
Yeah,
so
that's
she
true.
was like, I got to lock this guy down. He's
Yeah.
a hero.
It's been a big month for him.
Yeah, so good for McD. Now he just needs to find work.
Saving babies, marrying girls, and looking for work.
Our listener, McD, he's a good guy.
He's the best.
He used to work for Boeing, didn't he?
As a
so.
safety inspector, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. And then they got I think he got like furloughed, and then he came back, and then they let him off again.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Which
a
is
weird time
messed
in
up.
business. He deserves a good gig. Somebody should hook him up.
Absolutely.
Speaking of jobs, I know you guys have been watching Severance. Laura, I think you've already powered through what's available already.
Yes, I have.
This new survey found that 35% of people say that they would go through the severance procedure if it existed in real life.
So I've never seen this show. I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, so in the simplest terms, you go to work and you don't remember your home life, and then when you're at home you don't remember your work life, and it's something
Whoa.
a company does it, and they put like a chip in your brain so that every time you go to work you do some sort of
Okay.
like blackout situation. And
Easy to
don't
keep things
remember
top
your-
secret, I suppose, when you do it like that.
Well, that
Yeah.
and there's no stress at home.
yeah.
You know,
Right.
but now you get back to work and you're like, I do what?
I don't know that I would want that at all. Like I feel like what you do at work kind of
Is who you are.
Is who you are. You kind of take that home with you sometimes. I mean, I know a lot of people shouldn't, but you do. And I think that turning myself off for half the day would be crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't think
So I just don't know what I do for half
Unless
the
you're
day.
trying to escape something. Like everybody in the show is like trying to escape some sort of like trauma or grief in their actual life or vice versa. So
I mean, it makes sense if you're dealing with those types of dark
Yeah.
and nasty things, but
Yeah, could I do that with an ex?
now
right,
we're
yeah.
Can I just
talking.
wipe that memory out?
yeah.
If you could pick the ones, but like if I go home and I don't even know what I do for a living, how do I teach my kids anything about like being somebody?
Right.
You're like, well, I think
Yeah.
I work. I'm
What
not
do you,
sure.
What do you
though.
do that? I don't know.
I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
I think I work at an ice cream parlor.
It's like you can't teach your kid a trade or anything like. Yeah,
Nothing.
So, the survey says that 35% of people, that's a lot of people,
They
said
hate
that they
their jobs.
absolutely would turn themselves
Kind
off
of
at work.
dark. Honestly, especially when you see the show, you're like, why would you want this?
Yeah. Would you do this? Would you turn yourself off if you went to work every day? And if so, what the hell's your job that makes you want to do that?
Yeah,
Well, I mean, think
right.
Work
about
in a morgue?
if you clean portalets. If you're in the
Sure.
sewer up to your waist in muck, maybe
Or
you want it off.
I just think about the detectives who have to photograph murder scenes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's got to stick with you.
That's got to be
Right.
the pinnacle of wanting to turn it off.
Right. What
Right.
job, would you turn off if you could have the severance power or whatever that is? Is it a machine that does that? I haven't watched the
It's
show.
just
yet.
it's a company and
Give you a kick in the neck, and
some
Yeah,
guy named
Terrence is in the garage.
he's got his steel toes on.
He's ready to go.
Ready for it. Anyway, 35% of people would go through the severance procedure. Would you? 9819, whatever. You know the text line.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, it was bound to happen over the last week or so when Alex Ovechkin, the superstar hockey player, beat Wayne Gretzky's record of 895 goals. Now, you got to play for basically 100 years to do that. But it was cool, though, because it was in New York. It was a road game. And when he scored it, the crowd, they were up 2-0, New York was. And it was an away goal, and they erupted like he was the home team. Because I think anyone who's there to witness greatness is going to know that you're here for something special.
Yeah.
Same thing when somebody, breaks a home run record or whatever. So congrats to Ovechkin. And Gretzky was humble and was kind in the transfer of power there and was even there to watch him get it done. Last night, the women's national championship in college basketball went down, and UConn once again champions. I didn't realize that it had been nearly a decade since they had hoisted the trophy, which they had been the most dominant thing I had ever seen. But their coach, Gino, Gino's got a really tough last name, but let's just say that Gino was so emotional after the game talking about his superstar, Paige Buchers.
We had a preseason scrimmage. We lost a scrimmage. I thought we wouldn't make the NCAA tournament. But this is, they've all been gratifying, don't get me wrong. But this one here, because of the way it came about and what's been involved, it's been a long time since I've been that emotional when a player has walked off the court.
Now, Gino was getting a little bit teary-eyed there, but it is a long time coming for them. But tonight, you'll find out who wins on the men's side. I will not be champion after, you guys were away. I lost 2 of my Final Four teams.
Oh.
And even those who tried to take the pony, Duke, they're not in the final tonight. Houston against Florida, 5 o'clock tip, and a chance for somebody to hoist a bunch of cash, but I will hold my hat that I beat Laura by a smidge.
Okay.
Just a smidge.
Wow.
But you know who's in front of me? My wife by a point. So,
and she even picked Duke.
She did.
Wow.
But if Florida wins tonight, I'll scurry up to about 5th or 6th place and sleep with no money in the middle of the pack. There's your sports.
Thank you much. More on the stories at 1059thebrew.com. We got some talkback messages to play. Of course, you can send us a talkback anytime if you have the iHeartRadio app. Get it for your cell phone today.
Talk to me. Hey, Brew Crew, Fat Thor here. Glad you guys are back. Didn't know what I was going to do without you. And a special shout out. Happy birthday, Tanner.
Thanks, man.
Good morning, Brew Crew. I'm not ready for today.
Me either.
Oh, man. Spring break was too short. Yep, bing bong. Happy birthday, Tanner. Big 4-3. What?
Dude, I feel you, man, especially because, we were on vacation last week and I was in Disneyland and it's like the last day there. You're like, you don't want to, can we just live here? You don't want to, the vacation goes so fast and you're like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to go back yet.
We were, and I was only gone on an airplane for a few days, but we were coming back through the airport and I'm rolling the bag and I'm like, that was a time warp. Like, nothing happened. Like, I was just here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But, you have a ton of fun, and that's why it flies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll learn about Laura's vacation here in a few minutes. While she was on vacation, she won a broadcasting award.
Holy
I'm
macaroni.
very proud of our Laura.
Oh, thanks.
And also disappointed because we were totally excluded from it.
Yeah, well,
We'll tell you what she won the award for, why we're not involved, and we want to know, have you ever won an award? What was it for? Was it something at work? Was it something in your community? Was it, I don't know, did you get a Grammy?
Oh my God, did you get a Grammy?
Yeah.
Are you an Oscar winner?
Man, I want a Grammy. I mean, I don't want to put in the work, but I want a Grammy.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
98197 is our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station, 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. So earlier we found out from the survey that 35% of Americans would go through the severance procedure if it existed in real life. Obviously, that show, Severance on Apple TV Plus, is blowing up. Laura's already binged what's available.
Yeah,
And
so good.
if you don't know the premise of the show, I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes, but these people go to a job, but they turn their minds off somehow. So they don't, when they get off work, they don't remember what happened at work.
Yeah, and
they're
vice
2 different
versa.
people, basically.
Yes.
So like life at work and life at home are 2 different worlds.
Yes, they're
completely
referred
just
to
dead.
as innies and outies. When they're at work, they're innies, and when they're on the outside world, they are outies.
Life is a belly button.
Yes.
So we want to know if 35% of people are willing to do that. Are you? Are you one of those people? You can send us a talkback message to the iHeartRadio app.
Hey guys, you're talking about shutting off work life. I have a friend who is a therapist who, when she first started, would come home every day and just cry for like the next hour just because of the things that she had to listen to while she was at work.
Yeah.
If she could shut that off, I bet you she'd be way better. All right, have a good day, guys.
Hey, good morning, Brew Crew. You guys are talking about the severance thing. I would 100% quit my job if I had the money, man. I work in the mental health field, and I have definitely seen some things. I've had a client literally shoot themselves in the head in front of me.
Oh, my God.
I was talking to a client in a psychiatric hospital. He was in active psychosis, and he had gotten a pair of scissors somehow, and he had cut his eyelid off in front of me before I was able to get to his scissors.
Yeah, you could plug me right into that, that
I would
severance machine.
sever
then.
for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah. There's certain things it's like, well, why don't you like your job? Okay, I got it now.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Please don't tell me anymore.
Yeah,
Please.
I'm going to need severance from just hearing
Hearing
that.
the story.
More of your calls and texts coming up in a few minutes. Also, here in a few minutes, we are in the presence of greatness this morning, Drew.
That's right.
An award-winning broadcaster.
Oh.
We're trying to do our best this morning just to keep up.
Just to keep up with Laura. She won a broadcasting award while we were on vacation. We'll tell you what that exactly was for and why we were excluded coming up here in just a few minutes. And then we want to know, have you ever won an award?
Yeah.
What was the award for? You know, was it for something sweet, like music? Like, did you get a Grammy? A lot of people win Grammys, like just engineers and stuff.
Yeah,
so
that
maybe
like aren't televised.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to hear about this because, I feel like the world these days, it's a lot of doom and gloom, but I think it'll be nice for people to brag about themselves a little bit.
That's right.
That's coming up right after the Pumpkins. Happy Monday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break, or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Happy Monday. So we want to know this morning, have you ever won an award? The reason we ask is while we were on vacation last week, our beloved Laura won herself her first broadcasting award.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not jealous at all.
Whatever. I'm sure you guys have won broadcasting awards.
I've never won an award.
You've won a local awards, just not a sweet gala award.
Yeah, like we got best radio show in Eugene. That wasn't saying much.
It would be the Eugene version of the, what do they call it? Willamette
Weekly.
Here.
Yeah.
So it's the Eugene Weekly.
Okay, got it.
But I think the most, and we'll get to it at some point because I want to hear about your accomplishments. But the best was when we lost the award. That was the best time. Remember, at an actual gala at the McDonald's Theater.
Yeah. They actually they used to do like an award ceremony
where everyone get all dressed up like you went to.
Yeah, and we went and...
but were you nominated?
Yeah, we were nominated.
So that's good. At least you were nominated.
We lost to a show that got canceled, no joke, like 6 weeks later. Maybe 4 weeks later.
And I think it was on the community radio station. Either that or the college station or something.
It was
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
It was weeks
But no, I've never won anything prestigious like you,
Well, I mean,
Laura.
it's not really that prestigious.
I mean, a broadcasting award, you got first place. I mean, that's
true.
It's pretty incredible. So tell us what's the award?
Okay, so I won the award for a best afternoon show in a major market for my show in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and that's a state award? Is that what that is?
So it's broken down. It was the Colorado Broadcasters Association Awards. So everyone from the state came in.
I see.
Came to Denver for this award ceremony. And they break it into market sizes. So Denver was in a different category than me because they're larger. I was like second to top. So there's like small, medium, major, and metro.
Okay.
So I won best afternoon show for major market.
Because for those people who don't know, Laura, after she's done with this show, has to do a bunch of other radio shows, like on the within our company.
And I mean, I've been on this radio station. This is my 9th year on the air there, and I've never won the award. I've been nominated, and I've come away with like a certificate of merit or whatever, but it's second place is just first loser, you know what I mean? So it's nice. It was nice to finally be recognized.
Yes. Well, congratulations.
Thank
you looked absolutely stunning in the pictures.
I know. I don't always look like I just crawled out of a trash can, believe it or not.
No, you looked great. I mean, I
Thank you.
remember I saw it, I was like, God dang. Laura's looking spicy.
Thanks.
I thought you looked very nice. It was, and when I go, look, Laura won an award, and I turned it to Amy, and the first thing she said is, she goes, "Wow, she looks amazing."
She cleans up nice.
Thanks,
I
guys.
thought she looked great. So, well, Laura got herself a broadcasting award. Me and Drew completely excluded from that. But
And I partially blame the people we work for, because the people you work for have to put you up for these things, and never in 20 years of broadcasting have they not one time thought, hey, maybe let's put a little support behind these guys.
Do they do anything
maybe
like
once.
that? Is there like an Oregon Broadcasters Association?
I think there is.
And there's national stuff. There's all kinds of things that they could do, but nah.
Yeah, I've never been invited to anything, nominated for anything prestigious. I've never even asked for an interview from like the trade websites.
Yeah, because either have I. And
not that we're bitter or anything.
No,
it's
but
just
it's just the truth.
Yeah.
But the weekly, I always did like those awards, even though they were much smaller than your award.
Because it's fan vote.
And it's
the fans,
people,
the people voting.
And
that means more to me than like a group of like 6 snobby people deciding.
right. And like for this awards ceremony, it was like it's always out of state, like an out of state
Somebody
panel
else.
who judges.
Well, that's
So
kind of
it's-
cool for you, though. They like your voice. And there's a reason you're here. I mean, the reason why we wanted you here is because you're good at your job. So.
Oh, thanks, guys.
And now I'm sure your head's been patted to where you're going to lose your
yeah,
hair
you guys
at that
could just
point.
like keep stroking my ego. That would be great.
But I do think that, Tanner, it's your birthday, but you also deserve an award.
I think
because
everyone, we all deserve awards.
Well, I want to know why you won an award and what was it for? Was it a community thing? I want to know, did someone win a Grammy or something like that? That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anybody in our audience that's
any,
that talented.
Do we have any EGOT?
Any EGOTs in there?
If you haven't won them all, don't call.
Let's go to, I think this is Dave. Dave, good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir. How are you?
Doing well, man. Laura won herself an award. What did you win an award for?
I actually won an award for Best Male Vocalist of the Year in my hometown.
Really?
It was one of those Best of magazine, the people write, go on the internet and fill out the form or whatever. And
you
then
won.
you're chosen. Sorry?
And you won?
And and then I found out a couple weeks afterwards that 2 friends of mine at their workplaces went to every single computer and stuffed the ballot box.
Oh my God!
No, but the best part about this is it didn't only happen once; it happened twice in the span of 6 months in 2 different local entertainment magazines. And I come originally from Vancouver, Canada, so I'm proud to say that I beat out Bryan Adams and I beat out Chad Kroeger.
Oh my
That
God!
is
Nice work.
They were actually here's the best part. In the second News Weekly magazine or whatever, it actually listed in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it had me above Chad Kroeger and Bryan Adams in the actual newspaper ranking.
Well, let's hear a bit of those pipes. Let me hear.
Yeah,
let me hear you sing "Rockstar" from Nickelback.
Here's the funny part. I suck at singing.
Yeah,
wow.
That's why you got to give us a little sample.
I sing like this.
Oh, so he can't sing at all.
Oh, and your buddies just went
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
It's punk rock. It's punk rock vocals. So that's the funny part is that they stuffed the ballot box, and I have like the piece of paper at home that
to prove it.
I was
to prove that I cheated.
I will always be better than Bryan Adams.
Yeah,
Mark
so
it.
you're not going to be opening for Nickelback anytime soon.
I hold on to that though. He doesn't
Yeah,
need to tell
that's
people
his
that
thing.
part.
And also, but at the same time, I don't want to.
I didn't get the last.
So you don't want to what?
Open for Nickelback.
Oh,
okay,
yeah. You say that now, but when Chad calls,
It's going to be a different story.
Thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate that. Wow, he won 2 singing competitions.
he can sing.
But it is better than if he thought he could sing, and
True.
if his buddies are like, "You only won because we did that," he would break his heart.
Yeah. We want to know, why did you win an award? You can send us a talk back through the iHeartRadio app.
Morning, Brew Crew. This is Big John. An award I won was a 6-foot-tall trophy for holding a car up after deadlifting it the longest. So deadlift the car and held it in my hands for about 56 seconds. And also, happy birthday, Tanner. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, buddy.
Good morning, Brew Crew. It's downtown Tina Brown. Back in 1982, I won first place in a coloring contest on Showtime.
Yeah.
I drew, the famous sunshine in the corner, birds, a house, and a playground, probably a tree, and got first place. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
Got a little certificate in the mail. I hope you have a great birthday, Tanner, and so glad you guys are back. Rock on.
Thanks, downtown Tina Brown. That's cool.
That's awesome.
It
A
is.
coloring contest. Hell yeah.
Pretty sweet.
I'm
Yeah,
jealous.
I won 0 coloring contests.
Yeah, same.
This kid can't say on the lines.
I don't even know what this is.
All right. Why did you win an award? What was it for? 866-445-1059 is the phone number. You can also send us a talkback message through our iHeartRadio app. Download it for your cell phone today, or a text at 98197. It's 1059 The Brew, Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Have you ever won an award? What was the award for? Was it for something in the community? Maybe something at work? Maybe it was something in school? I don't think there are a lot of award winners in our audience. I've only gotten a few responses here. I'm surprised.
Maybe everyone's just being modest.
So humble.
You know? Yeah.
It's time to brag about it.
This is it. Let it out.
This text comes to us from 7794. It says, I registered and played in a gaming card tournament back in the early 2000s only once. The guy that won the regional championship later that season came to me and asked me to retrieve the trophy because they misreported his wins onto my account, adjacent names in the database. I kept the place card for the trophy and gave it to him. The host company didn't care to fix the error, which was Upper Deck. So I don't know.
So is his name on the award then that he didn't win?
I'd put that right on a wall.
Yeah. Be
Like, hey, you know what? You print my name on it, it's mine.
Yeah.
And I achieved it. And guess who's going to look me up later? No one. Put it up.
Yeah. Finders keepers.
Yeah, I bet it felt pretty good. So, Laura, did you go up and have to give a speech or anything?
Oh my God, no! I had to go up on stage and they just shook my hand and
get out of here.
gave me the thing.
Now get out of
See,
here.
you should have grabbed the mic.
Okay, but also
You should have pulled an Adrian Brody. Stop the music.
Yeah,
I need 9 minutes.
I've done this before. I have things to say. No, but I mean, think about that, you guys. A room full of radio people, they're not trying to be there all night. Imagine if everybody gave a speech.
A lot of people had cocaine to do.
Oh my
No
God.
time for this.
Yeah.
And dude, and there's so many people who would soapbox the moment.
Totally.
Because this is your chance to, if you won the small market radio gig and all the big market people are there, you're going to tell a little joke or you're going to do.
Back in 1987, I got my first job at WKNR and it was...
none of that.
Yeah.
Coming up in a hockey jersey, getting an award.
Right.
I do believe, Court, are you on the mic? He said he's going to join. Because he's, I think his show, Court and Fat Boy, back in the day, won an award.
The weekly stuff or a real award?
Prestigious?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Man, well, that just shows what those are worth.
They're just giving those out to anybody.
I mean, there might be one in a cereal box.
Wow.
Hey, Court, what's up, bud?
What's up?
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Before you go any further, we are in the presence of greatness, so have some respect for the lady.
Yeah, Laura won an award.
I heard. I will bow down when I see her.
So, your show, Court and Fat Boy, you guys won something, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a pretty big day for Portland. We won. It was the Willamette Week Best of Portland, and I believe we were in. We got Best Radio Show runner up.
Okay.
So you didn't win.
But do you remember who you lost to?
It was either Daria, Mitch, and Ted, or it was the Emerson Show. I think.
Rick
I
Emerson.
think it was one of the two of them.
Yeah, I liked Rick.
And we were talking about this earlier, that when we would be in those weekly award things, we lost a few to just no-name shows. We did win 7, but we lost to some terrible shows. So I think your show was probably better than whoever you lost to.
Do they still do those awards?
Yeah.
And how,
dude, the best thing about when we won the Best of Eugene was the magazine didn't like us, and they would say that in the magazine.
They would they'd try and down talk the show while they had to acknowledge that we had won.
They always would say we'd make fun of homeless people and stuff, and
they'd go far that way.
Yeah, they would be really, really I don't know. They just never saw the humor in anything.
It would be things like their childish jokes and remarks have rubbed off on a city unaware of their blah, blah,
They would
blah,
give
blah,
us an award because their viewers said that we deserved it, but then they would sit there and trash us in the article. It was the best. It was the best.
Classy.
And shake their finger at the very voters who picked us.
You guys are all idiots.
It made it even better. Somewhere in a box. See, and Tanner was like, just throw them out. I kept them. They're in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
So we've got them.
I didn't even know we had 7. I didn't realize that till just now.
It's either 6 or 7. I'm pretty sure it's 7. Though.
Wow. Well,
it's a heavy box.
It was nice just because that was like a listener thing. But yeah. So Court also has never won an award.
No.
Just like us.
Nothing,
they were running
Nothing
around.
important. Nope.
Well, I mean, it's never too late.
Well, now that we've got Laura,
stop.
We might get one.
Yeah, my question is, Court, why haven't because the company and the bosses are supposed to nominate us and send them
Yeah,
our
but I mean,
information.
I still had to put together my own air check.
I know, but nobody's even asked us to do that. Why, Court, have you never stepped up for us?
It's a lot of work.
As the program director for the brew.
It's borderline no work for you.
I have no interest in doing any of that. It's a huge pain in the butt.
Well, if I didn't get it, you're not getting it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's going to go runner up, so are we.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you guys can have my best of runner-up award from the Willamette Week from 2004.
Oh, nice. Thanks. That's very generous of you.
I do need to warm my house later today.
But I am, in my mind, and this is what's sad, if he did sign us up, we'd be like, oh, we got to go to that?
Yeah.
I know.
Don't you think it would be fun and dress up all fancy?
I like to look fancy, but I don't like to look fancy and lose. You know what I mean? Like, get all the way down there.
But the good thing about that is that, like, at least you can still drink.
Well, yeah,
like it's
drink through a win or a loss.
Just an excuse to party.
If I lose, I'm definitely drinking.
Yeah,
drink before.
Is it free drinks, or do you have to pay for the drinks?
Oh no, the drinks are very expensive.
The whole thing's a racket.
You should get like at least a free drink ticket if you win an award.
Well, they did it that my company or our company,
They
I
hooked it
guess,
up.
they bought a couple of bottles of wine for the table, so that's nice.
Oh, I would have turned that upside down.
Why did you win an award? 866-445-1059. You can also shoot us a talkback message through our iHeartRadio app. Download it today.
Hello, Brew Crew. Mr. Illegal here. Thinking about it. The only award I've ever won was back in the early 80s at a summer camp. I got the award for Darth Vader because I used to snore.
Oh.
Probably still do. All right, keep on rocking.
So he got
Have a good week.
he snores at night. He got the Darth Vader award at camp.
Yeah, so they were like, basically, you're killing us over here.
Yeah, did you guys ever win any, like, I feel like Drew would receive, like, the Class Clown Award or something, like, at the mock
It's funny you
elections
say
of the
that
yearbook.
because I won 2 things in the yearbook, and they make everyone vote on these things.
Yeah.
I won funniest.
Okay.
And I won best eyes for these googly eyes of mine.
Wow,
That was
eyes.
that was a mistake.
It's still in the yearbook, baby.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. I guess if you're gonna
count that you won prom king.
But I also got
they didn't even elect me for the courts.
I got most likely to succeed.
Oh, look at
Whoa.
that.
No, it's homecoming king that I got.
I was gonna say they swung and missed on that award.
Prom king, I guess. Yeah, but I got most likely
Wait, you
to
were
succeed.
prom king and homecoming king?
Yeah.
Wow.
My senior year.
That's pretty
Jeez,
cool.
most likely to succeed were like people with the grades at my school.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't
like
know why
valedictorian people.
Because I wanted the funny one too, right? But I got that one. So at least I got.
I would have taken that.
Yeah.
Because that one actually, those people have careers and cash.
That's a lot of pressure, though.
I know.
But
a lot of funny people at Subway.
Yeah, at least you succeeded, though. So you manifested that.
Yeah, you got it done.
Good on you.
Well, they put that weight on you. You had to make it.
Yeah, right. We want to know, why did you win an award, or what was it for? Let's go to Eric. Good morning, Eric. Why did you win an award?
It was for 3 years straight for work, and it's kind of funny. It was for Ugly Sweater Contest. I won 3 years in a row, and then they would let you pick a prize. And for 3 years straight, I brought home anywhere between a 32-inch to a 40-inch TV.
Nice.
The guys just got to see a screen.
Nice.
Yeah.
How ugly was your...
Every year, everybody would get mad at me, be like, "You won last year. Give somebody else a chance." I'm like, "Hell no! I need more flat screens."
Wear an uglier sweater, bro. It's not my fault.
What was on the sweater to make it so ugly in a winter?
It was basically the way I dressed myself up. One year I dressed up as an elf, dyed my beard, put Christmas ornaments in my ears because my ears are pierced.
Yeah.
And then another year, a suit, an ugly suit. Yeah.
He just goes all out. Yeah, he puts time into it. All right, dude. Well, we appreciate that. He won 3 years in a row.
Every year the TVs get bigger and bigger. His wife's like, what's going on?
Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning. Why did you win an award?
Hello?
Hello.
Hey.
Hey. So the award was not really for me. It was in Pop Warner football.
Yeah.
And my coach gave the Pink Panty Award to the wimpiest tackle he's ever seen in his life. And I'm talking like a bunch of sixth graders. And he comes to this award ceremony with a pair of pink panties and gives this little sixth grader.
Wow.
And it was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, man.
It was a different time.
That kid is traumatized.
I'm in my 30s.
I was going to say, I think they have retired the Pink Panty Award, but at the same time, the idea is right. Let's show a little effort around here, but you can show effort in pink panties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still wearing those panties today.
He's like
30 years later.
So comfortable.
I wouldn't be surprised. Probably has a mask for COVID.
Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Later, dude.
We want to know, why did you win an award? 866-445-1059. You can also shoot us a text on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line at 98197. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom, for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Portland's Rock Station 105.9 The Brew. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura just sitting here in the presence of greatness.
That's right.
With Laura, who's now an award-winning broadcaster.
That's right.
She won herself an award while we were on vacation, a broadcasting award. It has nothing to do with this show, so Drew and I didn't get anything.
No. Right.
Which is, totally,
that's a theme.
Totally fine. Not bitter about that at all.
Two-decade theme.
But I'm pretty proud of you, Laura. And,
Thanks.
I know you were, I don't think you thought you were going to win.
No, and I didn't even know if I was nominated going into it.
Which is really weird communication.
Well, this station, because they don't tell you, because they want you to be surprised. So I knew this station was nominated for something, but that includes programming and promotions and on-air stuff. So I didn't know. And then as we got towards the end of the ceremony, nobody had been nominated for anything, and I was like, oh, I guess that means it's me. So yeah, it was
nice.
fun. Yeah.
866-445-1059. Why did you win an award?
Back in 2007 on Halloween, I won an award for best costume at a paintball event.
Okay.
Okay, what were you dressed as?
Well, it was back when the movie Underworld first came out, so it was werewolves against vampires, and I ended up being a paintball-playing werewolf.
Nice.
Wow, I bet that was a dark-looking group.
So did you get a certificate or like a trophy? What'd you get?
Free game of paintball?
Yeah, paintball. I actually got a carbon fiber barrel for my paintball gun.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that is
And
nice.
for them, that's big stuff.
I got a picture of it, too. I want to send it to you guys. How do I send it to you?
You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the socials at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
And then just DM it to us.
DM it to you? Alrighty.
All right, man. Looking forward to that. This text comes to us from 9603. It says, "Good morning, Brew Crew. The award I got was at work. A group of us each got it, and I've had many. I can't remember what we did to get it, but we all got one, and they have all the main people from the company there. This goes on and on and on with no punctuation, so it's hard to figure out what's going on. But he got a work award, so.
And there's all kinds of awards I didn't even know exist, like because I was just some dude at school. Like my kid, I'll be emptying out her backpack, and it's like a certificate will come out. It's like Compassion Award. You're like, where'd you get this? Oh, they pulled me up in front of the school for a Compassion Award.
Like, you didn't want to mention that?
You just have to be kind, and you get an award? What was I doing? I thought I was nice. Apparently not.
Let's go to Spencer. Spencer, did you ever win an award?
I did, and this is when hard work pays off. I won Dancing King at a roller derby party on 2 severely twisted ankles, but I just drank enough that I ignored it and went hard for it.
Hey.
I fought through the pain, and I won, so.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that roller dance in him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but no, it hurt so bad because I had tripped over both of them hours before and was like, I'm just going to drink enough that the pain's not that severe, but they were like clicking as I walked, and I was like, no, I want that pink sash, baby. Oh, yeah, it was bad. But
That's amazing.
Fought through the pain.
Yeah,
real that sash.
There's rewards for hard work.
Real champions play hurt.
Yeah. And I bet you felt that the next day, though. I bet you were like, oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, God. Probably felt 2 weeks.
Well, you get through it, and I still have that pink sash, so
You still got it.
who's the long-term winner? Later.
Nice.
Thanks, Spencer. We appreciate it. I want to see you. I want to see a picture of that. You in that pink sash, my friend.
I want to see him roller dance at a bacon and beer.
Yeah. All right, coming up next, we are going to play the categories game for your chance at tickets to see the Blazers take on the Warriors Friday night at the Moda Center. We need callers 10 and 11 right now. 866-445-1059. It's real simple. We're going to give you a category. You've got 10 seconds to name 5 things in that category, and we'll do that right after Simple Minds. Happy Monday. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on The Brew.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jell-O shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
Good morning, Beefwater.
Good morning to you all. Nice to see your fresh faces and happy birthday.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate
You
it.
can tell he's been alone here for a while. Can you tell? Beef's
Yeah.
like, oh, human interaction.
Yeah, he's like actually happy to see us, which is so
It's
odd.
rare.
Yeah, he's told me before that he gets really bummed out, and it's very boring here when we're not in the building. When we're on
Couldn't agree
vacation.
more. We could not agree more.
It changes the tone of my day for sure.
Well, glad to be back and glad to have you here. We got to talk about the Beat My Meat competition, which is coming up on Friday between Drew and Casey. We'll talk about that later on this morning.
Yes.
But Beef, have you ever won an award for anything?
Oh, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, nothing of any significance.
Never won an award when you were an electrician or anything like that?
No.
Electrician of the month?
There's not really an awards program for that.
What about high school? Like most likely to sell you weed?
That would, well, most likely
Not
to go
the most.
in on $5 because I didn't have no cash for the weed.
I got 5 on it.
No, I didn't really walk away with anything crazy like out of high school. I was never nominated for anything. I was an
Right.
under the radar kind of guy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it seems like it's a lot of our audience, just under the radar type people.
Yeah.
Or just,
I think most of us are just never honored for anything. Even if you're doing a good job, nobody ever like stops down and be like, you know what, dude, you're the best plumber in the building today. I'm going to get you an award for it.
I think you have to not only do awesome things, but just be an amazing person that everyone loves. Like every time you talk to somebody, that person goes, God, I love them. I feel like that's when you'll get it. Even if you did do something nice.
Yeah.
If 2 out of the 5 people don't like you, you're probably still not going to win.
Yeah, because usually when it goes to a ballot, you can just expect a loss. Like that's been my mindset. Like, oh, they're going to vote? Okay, we've lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But, hey, it's
congratulations,
not
Laura.
easy.
I'm very proud of you.
It's never too late.
If you want to see Laura's photos, can we put that on the Brews Instagram and the
put it
Tanner,
up.
Drew, and Laura?
Yeah.
Because Laura looked spicy. Beefwater, what'd you think?
I saw it. I was like, wow, she really went for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
good for you.
She posted a picture of like an up
Is
close.
that a compliment or that was a weird comment?
No, it was.
She went for it.
I mean, it was all right.
Sounds like when you're
all right.
It sounds like when you come down for prom and your dad's like, I see what you're going for. Good job.
No,
Like Laura posted a photo, like a really up close picture of her face with lots of makeup and stuff, and it said LFG.
So she looked really good.
Thanks.
And what I guess I wasn't anticipating it to be that like
Dressy?
it looked like you were going to like
Glamour
a
shots.
major event.
Yeah.
It's like straight up Grammy behavior.
Yeah, people were wearing bow ties, and it was real fancy.
And I didn't realize it was a a Laura-specific award. I thought I heard you say you were going to just represent the station.
I was because nobody else was there from my specific radio station, so I was there representing the station. I didn't know that I was going to be an award recipient.
Yeah, it had your name on the.
Yes, it does.
I mean, I zoomed in on the plaque just to see if you were just holding a prop.
It's inscribed with my
and I'm like,
name.
it's got her name on it. So that's more than just
don't
showing up.
don't get all big.
You zoom in, it's all
cocky.
Who is Brian Danielson?
I'm like, hey, can I borrow your plaque for a second?
So it was a way bigger affair than what you made it out to be. So congratulations on all that.
Thanks, Beefy.
Well, she didn't know if she was just going to get somebody else's award or the Halo Award. So
I
it's
thought
nice
you
that
were
it's
just
her.
showing up to represent. It was going to be a little thing. Eat a couple meatballs.
I did.
Get out of there.
I ate well. It was good.
Follow us on the gram at Tanner, Drew, and Laura at 1059 The Brew to see everything that you missed. Let's play this game. Oh, but sorry, that's not it. Hold on.
TikTok.
That's the ticker that we have to use when we actually play it. So this game is simple. We're going to give you a category, right? Mm-hmm. And you have 10 seconds to name 5 things in said category.
That's right.
Let's meet our contestant this morning. He is calling from... the hell did I...
He's from Portland, I believe.
Is he?
If I recall correctly.
Yeah. Yo, Ray, what's up, bud?
Not much. Just enjoying the show. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, dude. You have tickets to go see the Blazers play the Warriors Friday night on the line here. If you lose, you have to listen to us give your tickets to somebody who's on the other line doing absolutely nothing. They're just sitting there waiting for you to lose.
That's right.
Okay.
All right?
Thanks. No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure
Okay.
at all.
No, it's real easy stuff.
This morning, sir, your category is name 5 teams in the NBA. Sir, you have 10 seconds starting now.
The Blazers, the Warriors, the Nuggets, the Dallas Mavericks, the Celtics, the.
Is that it?
Got it.
That's it. It's a win!
Woo! I felt a little stutter. There was like, come on! You got it.
Congratulations, brother. You're going to go see the Blazers take the Warriors on Friday night at the Moda.
This Friday night, huh? Nice. Thank you.
Nice.
He's like, I actually got plans this Friday night. I can't make it.
Hang on the phone.
But the Coors Light Silver Seats are worth canceling your other plans
for
because
sure.
we've sat in them before and they are sweet. And I believe you're in the running for those by winning your tickets today.
You're going to be in a special little booth that's got like free drinks there. It's got like a phone charger. There's spots to cool your drink. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, the cup holder is self-cooling.
Can't beat that.
We'll have another chance to win tomorrow and online at 1059thebrew.com.
More of.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
story.
It's time for the big story where we go around the room sharing what we think the biggest stories of the day are. Drew, you want to kick it off?
Yeah, you just got back from Disneyland, Tanner. Well, the big story is there's more theme parks for you to decide between as Universal Epic Universe, which sounds like a pretty redundant title, is opening in Orlando. It's a brand new theme park. Now it'll be open May 22nd. And they describe it as a state-of-the-art theme park featuring 5 immersive worlds that offer shopping, dining, new rides, and experiences. And the first portal entry takes guests into Celestial Park, also called the Heart of the Universe. Epic Universe.
It's just like
Universal Epic
Did we need
Universe.
to say that twice? I
Yeah,
don't know.
and there'll be Harry Potter Land and a Super Nintendo World. So
that's cool.
You guys have, you know how we see overseas, they've got the cool Nintendo themed stuff. Well, soon it will be in a world where you can get into that and so much more with a hotel opening with 500 rooms.
And Tanner, you've never been to Disney World, right?
I have
Just
not.
Disneyland?
Yeah, just Disneyland. It sounds fun. It's just, there's like, as a Disney adult, it's like, when you go to another theme park, you're like, this is not Disney.
Yeah, but it's still Disney.
No, this is Universal.
Oh, got it. I see
But
what you mean,
they're battling Disney World. But I see where Tanner's saying, like, if
Just
I
Disney's
go to a
got-
fountain drink and I'm a Coke guy, Pepsi's hard.
Yeah, Disney's mastered it. So anytime you go to
Yeah.
another theme park, you're just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But Disney's the best.
But there are some, and when I went to Universal, the old backdraft ride and things like that, they were fun, but it feels like B Team.
I think the big story is this is interesting, and it'll be interesting to see if it actually works. But the Oregon Department of Transportation is testing fake ivy as a deterrent against graffiti. It's synthetic ivy. It's going to be installed on areas that are prone to graffiti. ODOT spends about $70,000 a month removing graffiti. So they're trying to lower those costs a little bit. If it works, the ivy will be installed in more places, but they say the synthetic ivy is better than the real thing because obviously it requires no maintenance. I hope it works. I do remember shortly after I moved here, I noticed that somebody had spray painted the bushes. So I'm not convinced that ivy is going to deter people from
Especially
spray
if it's
painting the walls,
fake. Like, who cares?
Right, but I mean, I can see how it would be less satisfying for like a graffiti artist to spray paint
Yeah,
ivy,
they won't be able to see it. Like
Right.
they're no longer doing what they're intending to do. I love it. I just came back from Las Vegas and Bend, and guess what? Not one piece of graffiti in either city. It can be done with a little bit of tough love over here.
Yeah, so hopefully it works.
I think the big story of the day is ByteDance. TikTok's parent company has been given a 75-day extension to divest its U.S. operations, postponing the potential ban of the popular social media app, which is a good thing for people like me who are addicted to TikTok.
Yeah.
Don't take my talk!
Yeah, the decision comes amid ongoing negotiations and recent escalations in trade tensions between the U.S. and China.
What are we doing though? You know what I mean? It's like ban it or don't.
China. Just pushing it back, baby.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there. My gut says,
it's not going to go.
It's not going to go away completely.
I heard that Amazon was maybe throwing in a bid to buy it.
Well, they've got the money for it, right?
But I think then other people were like, no, that's not true. Like they're not taking it as a serious offer, but we'll find out.
We'll keep you posted on that. More on those stories online at 1059thebrew.com. Just click on Tanner, Drew, and Laura. All right, coming up next, Drew's vacation was almost screwed up by the travel company he booked it with. Almost ruined his whole vacation.
Oh, yeah.
We'll tell you what happened right after Joan Jett. Happy Monday. It's 1059 The Brew, Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important.
Happy Monday. Happy to be back from vacation. Laura came back with an award. Drew came back with lots of photos of his kids. I came back with a sunburn.
And a year older.
And a year older, yes.
Yeah.
Drew, I guess your vacation was almost ruined because of the travel company you used.
Yeah, and the kids were after my actual vacation where I had to make it up to them for leaving them at the end of their spring break.
Fair.
But we went to Las Vegas. The last show we all did together for the week, I just went home and got on an airplane and flew away. And everything seemed like it was par for the course. And I had booked this thing online on Priceline.
Okay.
And they had sent me, I paid in full. All you had to do was pay the hotel tax when you get there.
Right.
It had confirmation numbers. I got another email 2 days before the trip. It's like, hey, big boy, let's do this. Don't forget, it's in 2 days. So I'm like, okay. I get there. I fly Alaska. We're good. Everything's fine. I get there, and normally, Tanner, you and I both, if we're going to stay on Fremont, we'd stay at Circa.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately realized that I was not at Circa. I was at the Golden Nugget, and it's a different experience. When you go to Circa, it's like, good day, sir. And they'll maybe take your bag or the whole deal. Not there. Self-serve check-in, the whole deal. So I'm waiting in this queue.
Self-serve?
Yeah. It's like you're ordering McDonald's.
Like kiosks.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm like, okay, no worries. So I go over there, and I put in my confirmation number. They're like, can't find your reservation. How about scan your ID? So I scan my ID. Hi, Mr. Tiedemann. Still can't find your reservation. Please go up to the desk, which means there's one desk and a line of like 30 people. So I get in that line. It's now, I got up at 3 a.m. It's 4:30 p.m. I'm ready to check in, go get some dinner. We got plans to get fajitas and party all night. It's going to be great. And I go over there. I wait in this line. I get to the front, and the lady says this to me. Sir, is there a possibility that your reservation's under another name? Oh. And I know I'm instantaneously in big trouble. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. And I flip my phone around with my itinerary saved on my phone, both on Priceline and the confirmation email.
Yeah.
And she's like, I just can't find it. So we go through the rigmarole of her going in the back room talking to management, back and forth. I'm up there for a good hour and 15 minutes. And finally, they're like, we can't get a hold of Priceline to confirm your room. I'm like, but I paid them. And I guess I was naive. I thought that a deal's a deal.
Right. Yeah, and you get all the confirmation numbers and everything. Like, I've never had a problem with any of those websites.
So me either. And like, I would have thought that once you get that confirmation number from Priceline, it just like automatically goes to the hotel as well. Like, don't they work directly with
third party? And that's
accommodations?
Third party, and that's what I learned in a matter of seconds, because they're like, okay, well, we're going to check you into the room you said, and we're going to try and get a hold of Priceline, and we'll be in touch. By the time I get to my room, the phone rings. And she's like, we just talked to Priceline, and they're not going to pay for your room.
What?
Oh
my God.
And I'm like, say what? And they're like, you got to get on the phone with Priceline and you got to figure this out. So I call Priceline,
What is
an 800 number after 5 p.m. on a Friday.
Yeah.
So it sends me to Bangladesh or wherever. Nobody's on the same page. I'm not joking, you guys. 4 hours on hold in this room where basically the Nuggets downstairs saying, like, you either got to figure this out or get out.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting kicked out of the hotel if I don't figure it out. I finally get on the horn with a guy who's in relocation services, and they're telling me to pack my bags.
Yeah. Listen, Mr. Teeterman, we need you to leave.
he tells me, and I'm like, no, this is a contract. I have it here. Like, you need to cover the room.
I paid you.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where, and I'm actually being kind because I cannot get on hold again. Like, I'm begging him to write my phone number down.
Right. Yeah.
And so he says this to me. He goes, sir, I've been on the phone with you for 15 minutes. You can either accept the refund, which you got to remember when you go to Vegas, the hotel, it's only like, they'd only give you a third of what it would cost to sleep over again.
Yes.
Because it's a package. And so I was like, that won't work. And he goes, okay, well, we're going to move you to a new hotel. I'm at the Fremont Experience. Like, you're supposed to walk out the door and party, not take an Uber. So I'm trying. And he goes, sir, I've been on the phone for 15 minutes. If you don't make a decision, I'm going to disconnect the call. And I'm like, 15 minutes? I've been on the phone for 4 hours, but just book the room, I guess. And so luckily, after begging and pleading all night long, it's now almost 10 p.m. 10 p.m. I've almost been up for 24 hours. Fajita night is over.
Right, yeah.
It is over. And so finally I go back downstairs and I'm like, because I've talked them into booking something at the Nugget, but they can't confirm this bougie tower that I have paid for and upsold to. And so I get down there and all I could do was ask the ladies. They told me they put me in the crap tower and I begged them to let me stay. And luckily the Nugget ladies let me stay in my room after all that. We, instead of fajitas, guys, we stood up eating Chick-fil-A in the lobby. That was how we opened Vegas.
And that's a good majority of the vacation because you were only there for 2 days.
Yeah, and it was, so I only got a full day after that. So yeah, I was supposed to.
that chewed up 8 hours of your day, basically.
And now we wouldn't let it completely ruin. We went to the ABC Mart and drank what we could, but by then I was emotionally and physically exhausted.
Yeah, right.
Like, I wanted to get weird. I wanted to do all kinds of stuff.
And they're just like, sir, pack your stuff and get out.
I couldn't believe it.
I'm not even kidding. I would have been in tears. I would have been crying. Like, I'm just like, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
And one other caveat, and that is that the relocation services isn't even Priceline. It's a fourth party. Mm-hmm. So, Priceline negotiators. No, you have no negotiation skills.
Yeah.
You just told me to get out.
Yeah, it's wild that we live in a time where they can just charge you money for things and not give it to you.
And not even pay it off.
This happened I booked my last flight through Expedia. I was telling Drew this the other day. And so I paid $40 each extra for my dad, my brother, and I to be able to choose our seats if we wanted to.
Right.
Okay. Had us all lined up. We're in the same row. We get to the airport. Not the case at all. Scattered around, back of the plane. And I'm like, so about that $40 a ticket I paid to get us all in the same. She's like, yeah, I don't know.
So because that goes to Expedia.
That's
it doesn't go to the
unbelievable.
airline.
So for $120, you get a smug shoulder shrug and just like you getting on the plane or not.
Wow.
And that's where we are today.
Ooh, that is good to know though, because like if there's any argument for booking directly through the hotel or the airline or whatever,
this is it. Yeah.
And they left customer service at the door. Like everything about my story was, let's fix this for him. And they were like, no, because they were like, wait a sec, we're going to lose money on this deal. Well, it's your deal. Like if I own a company and I'm going to lose money, it's because it didn't work out.
Yeah, and you screwed up my trip. You got to make it right. And sorry that if it eats into your bottom line a little
whatever
bit.
happened to that? Because that's the way it used to be.
I don't know.
Is that
They
you
don't
make it
care
right
anymore.
so that they come back, but it's going to be real hard to click a deal on there again.
And if the third party's a problem, why are you doing business with them? You know what I mean? Like if you're the airline, and
this has to have happened before. There's got to be procedures for it.
Right.
Yeah, I bet people get rocked all the time.
We want to know: is this anything like this ever happened to you when you booked a trip through a travel site? 3156 says, so Drew's experience tells me to never use Priceline. Sorry about that, brother.
But it's not just that one exclusive. I think any of those you got to be just careful.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's trip insurance or what, but.
But even that, so that doesn't guarantee anything, right?
That's just more money
This is
that
one
they
more
say,
thing
nah.
you're upcharging me for that I may or may not get on the other side of it.
It's so frustrating. Your calls and texts coming up in just a few minutes. 98197 is our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
1, 2, 3.
And now, Bruce Sports. Here's Drew.
Well, Alex Ovechkin is now the highest, has the most goals in the history of the NHL, passing Wayne Gretzky to take the deal. Now, I thought it was pretty cool when Gretzky was in the house to make sure he was part of the changing of the guard, but 895 goals. Now, he is getting older, but you got to go for 900, and I'm sure Gretzky did too. It's just the body wore out, but 900 goals sounds very nice and well-rounded, but a tip of the cap to a guy who could now be argued as the greatest to ever do it, Alex Ovechkin, gets it done. And Tanner, you were mentioning it earlier. It's kind of cool that he met Gretzky as a kid.
Yeah, I saw a photo of him when he must have been like 16 or something when this picture was taken. And then another picture, I don't know, 30 years later.
Looks like a different dude.
It looks like a completely different man, but it's just cool to see, he met him before he played.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he beat his record, he got to, take another photo with him. It's just really rad, I think.
It's wild how these guys, and the same thing happened with Rory McIlroy. He was on Johnny Carson hitting balls into a washing machine as a kid and then goes big. There's certain kids, you're like, that kid has something special. And for them to come full circle like that, very cool. Yeah. Finally, tonight, you got Florida and Houston head-to-head. And I misspoke earlier. It's not a 5 o'clock tip. It's actually later, which is kind of brutal for the East Coast. 5:50 is going to be your tip, with Florida favored by 1.5. Now, the only dog I've got left in this fight is I did pick Florida to win it all, but I can't win the cash this year. You can't take them all, but this is going to be a tough one against Houston tonight, who came back and shocked Duke in the final seconds the other night to just get here. So should be a lot of fun on CBS this evening. And if you're still alive in your bracket, best of luck to you. There's your sports.
Thank you much. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we actually have to talk about our steak cook-off competition that's coming up this Friday, y'all.
This is it.
Beat My Meat, the steak cook-off competition between Casey, Beefwater Bay, and Drew is finally going down this Friday morning. So we'll discuss that in a few minutes. Coming up next, though, more of your calls regarding Drew's debacle. He went to Vegas after a trip he bought off Priceline. Priceline never sent the information to the hotel, so, for like half the day he was battling with
Chaos ensued.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get screwed over by one of these travel companies? What happened? Your calls and texts coming up after Everlast. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura on the Brew. What?
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. On God. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. In the meantime, follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at Tanner, Drew, and Laura.
Thank you for checking out the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. Please continue to stand by. Your viewership is very important to us. And remember, keep calm and bing bong, f***ers. Thank you for continuing to sit there like a big dum-dum. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to sit there and do nothing. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back momentarily. In the meantime, call your mom for God's sake. Whoa, isn't this taking forever? Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. Thank you for continuing to hold.
All right, we want to know if your vacation ever got screwed up because of a travel service. Drew used Priceline to book his trip to Vegas with his wife last week.
Yep.
And when he gets to the flight was fine. Everything was fine there. When he gets to Vegas, apparently the hotel claims that Priceline never sent them the information.
Mm-hmm.
I've been thinking about this. I think Priceline did, and the hotel lost it because you were able to get on the airplane.
Well, but they're booked separately. Even my flights weren't on the same thing. They give you one-way flight. And here's what's crazy. It's so screwed up that when I called to lodge the first complaint, they had me put my phone number in, and they're like, "Are you calling about your flight home from Las Vegas?" I'm like, "No, I'm calling about my hotel that is not on the thing."
Yeah, so like
it's Priceline.
So
I don't understand how it works though, because doesn't Priceline, like, how does the Golden Nugget get paid?
Well, they
all
wouldn't
of
have
this?
if they wouldn't have gotten paid if that when I was on the phone all night.
Yeah.
If that guy hadn't gone back in the system and told him, "Okay, we'll pay for this cheap room," they would have never been able to do it.
I'm trying to figure this out. You book your airplane tickets separately than what you did on Priceline?
No, it's all one reservation, but they just when you go on these sites, they just grab and they package it, and then they say this is your deal. They gave me a confirmation number for a thing they never sent.
Yeah, so they
never sent it to the Nugget. They didn't know who I was.
How do they even get a confirmation number though if they haven't booked? Like, isn't that what a confirmation number is for? Like, I just don't understand.
It's so untrustworthy, and it's what we're finding out this morning is it's not just one of the sites.
It's all the third party.
It's all that,
right.
Too good to be true.
It just sounds like, I don't know who, like everyone's pointing fingers.
But, the
it
thing
just
is,
seems like if your airline tickets worked, your hotel should work.
And I totally get that idea, but they just didn't know, like they had never heard of me. Like they never got anything. They never got paid. And that's what they needed to do was the hotel is still a casino, and it felt like that once I had no reservation.
Right.
Well, 7663 said that they work in the hotel industry, and they strongly suggest never using those type of sites because these things happen all the time. This person says, from 2142, I'm currently dealing with something similar with Expedia. I booked a 9 a.m. flight with Frontier, and then all of a sudden it's showing a 9 p.m. flight. Neither one of the parties is accepting a fault. Frontier says it never had a 9 a.m. flight. Expedia says Frontier changed the flight. I even bought the trip. I even bought the trip protection, but the only way I can get the money back is to get Frontier to send me something in writing so saying that they changed the flight.
There's so much red tape.
My
Like,
God.
I think you might have said it earlier. Just make it right. You know, like
It's really going to hurt you to take care of my $200 flight or my hotel for $300. I mean, really.
And they should be in a situation where they can scratch each other's backs and comp things, right? Like, okay, well, we'll do you a favor. You do one for us next time.
Well, it would make sense because, like, they need to be working together because, like, why would any hotel work in, like, collaboration with?
Most hotels, if you ask them, they're like, don't use them, use us. So I don't know where the middleman is.
7446 sent a text in and said, I always call the hotel a day or two before after I book the trip.
Just to make sure.
That's smart.
Just to make sure that the information got there.
Trust me, I wish I had done that, and I will in the future.
Yeah, I think I will too. Hi, it's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. What happened to your trip?
Hi, good morning. I was just listening to your story there about the Priceline mishap. I'm a big dispute person with my credit card if I get screwed over by companies because that's my money. I work hard for my money. I'm not going to pay for something I'm not going to get. But I heard somebody had mentioned getting the insurance on the trip, and if you book the saver flights, the insurance does not cover those.
Oh my God! So
that is good
any
to know.
deal you get screwed.
Yeah.
I just got a text from 7663, and it says, I work in the hotel industry and strongly suggest never using any third party like Expedia or Priceline. Problems happen all the time.
Yikes.
Yeah, and when we asked her that, when I said, "Hey, is this an issue a lot?" and she didn't say it out loud, she just nodded yes, almost like you're not supposed to say that, but yes, big problems.
Yeah.
And the fact that it happens all the time, there's not a procedure for it, and you guys just don't make it right.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
It's frustrating. We appreciate your call.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's Tanner, Drew, and Laura. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a comment about your travel.
Yeah.
My wife is a travel agent, and unfortunately, this sort of thing happens all the time with travel or
discount travel.
Priceline.
So who's responsible for
yeah.
it? Then if somebody gets screwed over like that, is it the hotel? Is it the travel company?
It's a travel company, and you are screwed, blued, and tattooed, my friend.
Yikes.
If you do not go through a travel agency, you have nobody who will go to bat for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with the hotel, the Nugget, at first I was mad at them, then I realized that they never sent them the reservation. So as far as they're concerned, I don't exist.
Yeah.
I'm not in the system. It's Priceline or it's whoever is that third party.
Yep.
Well, I blame the girl
and
from,
like I
from
said,
Big Bang Theory.
my wife is a travel agent, and she has worked for many agencies over the years, and she hears this horror story all the time.
You know what? I thought William Shatner wouldn't do us dirty like that, but
Yeah, I don't think they're paying for the shat anymore.
No, they're not.
All right, thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate it. Got some talkback messages coming in through our iHeartRadio app. Download it for your cell phone today. And once you have the Brew streaming, press the microphone button to record something.
Went to Bend for a concert, booked a hotel on a third-party site. Got to the hotel. It is under renovation and closed.
Oh, my
Took me
God.
20 minutes pounding on the office door for somebody to finally come down. And they were mad at me, saying I was bothering them. The hotel was closed. Get a hold of your site. They will refund your money.
Jeez. And so what, did you sleep in the car or something? What do you do?
Probably.
that sucks because your money. You're like in your mind. You're like, this. I paid already.
Yeah.
Like, where did my money go?
And when you get to a destination, find out you don't have a place to sleep or stay, the panic starts to set in.
And you would think that there would be someone waiting, like when you call, like, oh, Priceline or Expedia, like, how can we help? Oh no, they're like, we'll get to you.
I just don't understand why these hotels would continue working with these third-party sites if they're not getting paid, even in these situations.
I'm guessing because they just, at the end of the day, they want to fill the rooms.
Yeah.
And you do get them cheaper. You know, I remember I was trying to find the cheapest way to get to Disneyland a couple of years ago.
And you're grinding.
You know, like I'm just trying out all these different sites, all these different packages, and I found that I went directly to the hotel site, and it was like $200 more. For the hotel, the same exact hotel.
Sometimes it is a way better deal.
But at least you're
guaranteed.
in it.
Yeah, and that's what's unfair. It's like, just All I want to do is pay for what we agree on, and then have it be waiting for you. That's not a lot.
I think I'll continue to still use. I use Travelocity. I think I'll continue to still use it. But I'm going to do what 7446 says, and always call a day or two after I book to make sure that the hotel got the information.
Good thinking.
Because once you're there is not the time to start the conversation.
9897 sent a text on our McLaughlin Chevrolet text line and said, booked a room through Booking.com and had a confirmation number and everything. Got to the hotel and they didn't even have the type of room that we reserved.
More like Booking.nah, fam.
Yeah, Booking.nope. It was supposed to be a main room with like another room connected to it for the kids. We ended up just with one room with a pull-out couch.
Oh, no.
Man.
The booking blamed the hotel.
And when you plan a trip where there's a second room, that's so that you and mom can have some privacy. Forget about it with a pull-out couch.
There was no sex on that vacation.
Absolutely not.
Let's go to, is this Dallas?
This is.
Hey, what happened on your vacation?
Well, I went to Oklahoma when I was 18, first time traveling that far alone, and we used a third-party booking for flight, travel to the hotel, and the hotel. And I got there. The travel company had never heard of me at all, and I was stuck in the Oklahoma City airport for like an hour.
Wow.
Damn, that sucks.
Couldn't rent a car, there wasn't even any taxis there at that time.
Oof.
Wow. So what did you end up doing?
I found the original company that was supposed to take me, and going back and forth between the third-party agency and them, I finally got a ride out there, but I still had to pay the dude like $80.
So, yeah, they don't do you any favors. It's like, we'll get you a ride, but you're going to pay like you never paid.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, dude, thanks. Well, listen, it's obviously sketchy using these sites, but I'm just, just save yourself a little cash. And when you book there, just make sure you call and
double check.
Make sure that they've got everything. Yeah.
At this rate, you might want to call 3 or 4 different times.
Right.
Just every week. Hey, it's me again. Still got that room?
Yeah, right? 7797 says, I have a timeshare and they've never made a mistake.
All right. Well, that was your first mistake, staying in that little presentation.
Staying in the timeshare?
Yeah. Well, in a couple of years, you'll call that number on the TV in the middle of the day.
Yeah, the old guy's like, you want to get out of your timeshare?
Are you ready to strangle the person who made you sign?
They sound awful just based on the commercials.
I've sat in the presentation. I will never do it again. They paid me $200 and gave me a blanket, and I still felt robbed.
Wow.
It's your entire day on vacation. Forget about it.
More of your calls, texts, and talkbacks in minutes. We do have another Trash Bandits coming up on April 19th. All the info right here.
You've been watching the Tanner, Drew, and Laura SpyCam video stream, powered by coffee, Jello shots, and depression. Please stand by. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes. So be patient, for f***'s sake. Thank you for continuing to hold. We're currently at a break or playing a song that we can't afford the rights to. But as the kids say, chill, bruh. Tanner, Drew, and Laura will be back in minutes.